6:14. It's not morning, not even an awakening. This is a time of notification, the beginning of an internal collapse. Rain slips down my window like a thin film. The city is gray, silent. But this silence isn't peaceful. It's a warning silence, not before the storm, the absolute silence that follows suppressed voices. I sat up in bed. Goosebumps. There's a void inside me, so real that if you fell into it, it would make a sound. And then, the wall screen, a blinding white light, a voice not human. Ms. Emma Brown, according to the ADP system, you have displayed risky behavior. Report to Digital Compliance Center, Zone 4 at 8 a.m. Just one sentence. But it's enough to turn me into a criminal. The message doesn't disappear. It stays fixed on the wall. Wherever I look, I crash into the words. My hands tremble as I walk to the coffee machine. Every step feels like it belongs to someone else. This house is no longer a home. It's a surveillance zone. And I am just an object, a number, a signal. My daughter is still sleeping. Lily, 7 years old. Her tiny body is curled up under the blanket. Her innocence hasn't yet been detected by the system's radar. But that radar shrinks every day. Fear rises in me as I watch her. What if they punish her too? What if she ends up alone? What if she becomes risky like me and gets rejected? It's not that the system sees me, it's that it might start seeing her. 7 a.m. My score, 47. Yesterday, 53. What changed? Only a day has passed. Was it my walk? The way I touched a post? Did they analyze a word in my dream? The system is watching, every glance, every word. Even a child's laugh gets converted into points. And now, with my score dropping, even Lily's toy may soon require permission to be given. The door's security light is no longer green, it's gray. Gray equals risk of contamination. Gray equals keep away. Gray. This person has fallen out of society. I've fallen, but not to the ground, to the very bottom of the data pit. 7:22 I got dressed. Left Lily a small note, by her pillow on a torn piece of notepaper. Your mother loves you. Don't be afraid, even if it's dark. I couldn't finish the sentence, because some darkness doesn't belong only to the night. 7:58. Walking down the street, no one looks at me, but everyone sees me. The sensors on the pavement record my footprints. My face matches the ID on the screen. My heartbeat is analyzed. High stress. Escape likelihood? Low. Compliance level? 63%. In the system's eyes, I am a woman who has bent, but not yet broken. 8 a.m. I'm standing in front of the Digital Compliance Center. The building is white. The windows are transparent but show nothing inside. Everything is clean, but a dirtiness grows inside me. The door opens. No sound. One screen in front of me. Emma Brown. Approved. Entry permission, 8 o'clock to 8:15. Even the time is programmed. Even my name is the system's property. I walk in, and even if I turn back, I'm no longer the same Emma. I'm not just detained. I might now be someone erased without a trace. 0802, Zone 4, Digital Compliance Center white. Everything is white. The ceiling, the walls, the lines on the floor. I never knew white had so many shades. But now I'm learning. This white isn't cleanliness, it's erasure. My footsteps echo in emptiness. But my voice doesn't echo, because here, nothing comes back. The woman at the door, or the manager disguised as a woman, doesn't look at me. She's looking at a tablet that seems more like it belongs to me than to her. Emma Brown. Behavior score, 47. Spouse, Henry Brown. Status, system external missing. Child, Lily Brown, 7 years old. School points program, suspended. The words are sharp. No emotion. Tone, 0. As if they're not interrogating me, but a digital shadow. What does that mean? I say. The sound doesn't come from the system, but from an instinctual scream. Lily, why? The woman's eyes meet mine for the first time, but inside, she's still closed off. According to the loyalty algorithm, a low behavior score of an individual may affect first-degree relatives. You mean, my daughter is also risky? She has been flagged as a potential threat. It's hard to describe how a mother's soul burns. It's not a physical pain. It's like everything inside you starts to rot. Not blood, but essence drains out. There I stood, rooted in the system's polished floor. But there was no soil, only concrete. What crime did Lily commit? My voice is steady this time. She's only 7. She's a child. The woman hesitates for a moment. Maybe something instinctive stirred inside her, but then the system wins. The system operates not on age, but on probability. In that moment, something breaks inside me. I am now in debt to this system, not just for my own life, but for the very existence of my daughter. 0806, interrogation room. They take me in. A small room, a table, an empty chair across from me, but I know no human will ever sit in that chair. Cameras, microphones, analysis systems have taken its place. There is no one to look me in the eye, but there's a system looking behind my eyes. A holographic light activates on the inner side of the table. My face is scanned. My voice is analyzed. And the system begins to speak. Emma Brown, due to your low behavior score, you are under observation. Please answer the following questions. Your responses will directly affect your score update. Question 1. Within the last 48 hours, you have viewed content containing keywords such as freedom of expression, off-network broadcasts, and Henry Brown. What is your reason for accessing this content? Why? Because I still haven't forgotten him. Because losing his voice was like losing myself. But I can't say that. The system doesn't score feelings. It only scans for danger in sentences. Response. I was trying to understand past memories related to my former husband. The system pauses briefly. Warning. Vague emotional response detected. Searching for alternate explanation. I am silenced, but gently, but with math. Question 2. Your husband, Henry Brown, played an active role in the system decision engine algorithm in 2036. Do you hold any knowledge or suspicions regarding his recent disappearance? Suspicion? Number I don't suspect. No. Response. No. I have no information beyond what the system provides. Am I lying because I'm afraid? Number I lie for Lily, because the system hears everything, but never feels empathy. 0814, final minute of interrogation. The table makes the decision. The interrogation is over. Your responses will be analyzed. Your updated system score will be communicated shortly. Please exit the facility. That's it? That's all the decision about me? What about Lily? What about Henry's voice? What about the unanswered questions inside me? All of it. Thrown out the door without so much as a vague, thank you. 0820, outside the facility. No sun. The sky is still gray, but inside me, it's even darker. As I walk home, I'm no longer searching for an answer, but a voice. And that voice will be waiting for me when I return. Because Henry left me something. The only thing the system couldn't erase. Memory. 9:04. Returning home. The outside was crowded but silent. Each person looked like an extension of the system. No one spoke, no one touched. Even eye contact had become risky. Society had turned into a mirror of the system, faceless, cold, functional. Even the asphalt beneath my feet was filled with security sensors. Every step, every shadow was a record. But the more the system saw, the less it understood. I was walking, but something inside me was running. It wasn't fear, it was a call. Henry's voice still echoed at the edge of my mind. If you can't find me, it means the system has erased me. But I was going to find him. 9:31. Home Lily should have been at school, but the system had already turned her status to gray. She lay under the blanket like a small shadow. She wasn't asleep. She was just silent. Fear doesn't always cry in children. Sometimes it sinks in. I touched her cheek. She didn't look at me, but she leaned her face into my hand. That meant she still trusted me. But the system is a machine at war with trust. 10:06. Henry's computer. I entered the oldest room in the house. I knelt before an old model terminal, disconnected from the system. Henry always used this device. Analog systems are safer, he used to say. Back then, it sounded paranoid, but now? I turned on the screen. Date: May 17th, 2038. Folder: HB archive greater than sysleaks greater than log5.wav. My hands trembled as I clicked, but it wasn't fear inside me, it was the weight of lost time. Audio recording begins. If you're hearing this, it means the system has already erased me. But there's still a way. The ADP algorithm, it's not fixed. It learns, but only from directed data. I've reached its decision tree. There's an external signal field guiding those decisions. Its coded name, Gate-9. That means an off-system entry point. I paused. A gate? An off-grid control node? In this file, there's a reverse decision matrix that can influence the system's core scoring algorithm. If you release it, people might finally realize they were wrong to trust the system. Maybe then they'll start questioning their own scores. His voice trembled. Henry wasn't crying, but there was the sound of a man's desperate conviction in that recording. Hug Lily. Teach her the truth. With words, not scores. Because words are the one thing the system cannot understand. 10:20. The truth. I looked at the code file that opened on the screen. Hundreds of lines, data arrays, visual link points, all of it written to transmit a signal outside the system. This wasn't an escape plan. It was a leak plan. 10:44. Alex, an old university friend. One of the few people unregistered in the system. He had completely removed himself and become an untraceable existence. It wasn't easy to reach him, but he still used a radio frequency, only at specific times. Frequency: 92.8 megahertz, analog hack link. I tuned the device. 2 bursts of static, then a voice. Who is this? Emma, Henry's wife. I found the HB_archive file. The answer didn't come immediately, but it came. I've been expecting you. 11:18. The tunnel we met in an abandoned subway tunnel. A signal-free zone. The system never came here because these places were forgotten, and the system doesn't like what it forgets. Alex had grown thinner, but he was still confident. His eyes, the eyes of someone who had learned to walk in shadows. "Henry didn't tell you everything," he said. "He didn't just discover the system. He realized what it had become. A DP is no longer just a surveillance system. It's become a kind of living algorithm." "What do you mean?" "It's turned into a belief system. Once people began measuring themselves with scores, the algorithm began to code itself as a god." 12. Decision not as Emma, but as a mother, a wife, a human being. I made my decision. Henry had hidden this data, but I would no longer hide it. Something had to be planted at the heart of the system: doubt. And I would spread it. 22:17, home. The house remained silent all day, but this wasn't ordinary silence. This was a silence that comes before something, as if something was approaching. But no one knows when it will arrive, and people fear most what they cannot anticipate. Lily was in her room. She didn't ask anything. She just drew in her sketchbook. 3 people inside a house. One was missing. One was very small. One had no mouth. She had drawn me. A mother, but unable to speak. One who would lose if she dared to talk. 22:31. Terminal. I turned on the old terminal. Henry's file was open now. The codes lay before me. Each one represented a small crack in the system's armor. Beside me was an old chip, disconnected from the network. I was uploading the files to it, because the only way to access an off-system server was through a physical connection. This was no longer digital. This was resistance. 22:46. Lily's door. I quietly opened her door. She wasn't asleep, but her back was turned. A child's silence speaks volumes. Her face buried in the pillow, she said softly, "Mom, are you going to leave too?" Something icy climbed up my back. "I won't," I said. Was it a lie? Number. Because I would not leave her, no matter what. I sat at the edge of her bed, held her hand. Her tiny fingers gripped mine tightly. "Are you scared?" she asked. I paused. Answering takes courage, because children don't just listen to words, they listen to tone. "Yes." I finally said it. "But being afraid isn't bad, Lily. It means you recognize danger, and being brave is continuing even while you're afraid." 23:08. Off-system broadcast channel. I established the connection, reached the old underground network, an archive server built by former activists outside the ADP DRV Ether node. The upload screen appeared. File name, HB_leakcore_1.1 size, 2.3 gigabytes. Contents, system algorithm structure, reverse decision matrix, gate 9 signal structure, Henry Brown's final voice recording, Emma's statement. (2311) Hesitation to begin the upload is as easy as pressing a button, but that button could ignite a life. If this file spreads, the system will notice. I could be erased, arrested, or simply made non-existent. But one thing would remain. Lily would remember me not as a frightened mother, but as a brave woman. And that memory is data the system cannot delete. 2312. The click. Upload started. The progress bar began to rise. 3%, 11%, 29%. In moments like this, time gets heavier. Seconds feel like lifetimes. and with each percentage increase, another nail is pulled from your chest. 2318, 100% uploaded. A simple sentence appeared on the screen. Upload complete. Information dissemination triggered. Do not wait for a response. I won't wait, because waiting means playing by their rules. 2322. Silence. The silence after the upload was heavier than before, but there was another silence, a tiny giggle from Lily's room. I opened the door. She wasn't asleep. She had imagined it was snowing outside. Mom, I imagined it was snowing. White things are flying. I smiled. Maybe it really is. Maybe, for the first time, the system's signals are spreading like snow, and this time, they're not burning. Morning 6:14, 7 days later, same hour, same silence. But I am no longer the same woman. Once at this hour, the system would open my eyes. Now, I rise through my own awakening. Still a gray sky. But for the first time, it doesn't frighten me. Now gray is just a color, not a sentence. 6:20, wall screen. The screen lit up suddenly, a short beep. But this time, it wasn't a notification. It was a verdict. Emma Brown, digital behavior score, 0. All your accesses have been suspended. You have been removed from credit, communication, transportation, education, and social system services. A small note appeared below. Warning. Remaining in signal-free zones is subject to legal investigation. You will be placed under observation. The screen went dark. It never turned back on. And I smiled for the first time. 6:58, Lily's voice. Mom. My daughter came to me on her own for the first time that morning. There was no fear in her embrace this time. There was a decision. What's my score? She asked. I stayed silent, but knelt and looked her in the eyes. We don't have scores anymore, sweetheart. Is that bad? Number that is freedom. 1 week later, abandoned northern zone. We left the city, a signal-free old rural region. They used to call these places villages, land as far as the eye could see, mountains, silence. Lily touched soil for the first time. She scraped her knees in the grass. She didn't bleed, but she smiled. What we have left, Henry's voice still on my device, old books in Lily's backpack. In my hand, a notebook, real paper, notes written in ink, for what must not be forgotten. One morning, our new home. It was snowing, but this time, not imagined, real snow, real cold, real life. As Lily looked out the window, she asked quietly, Mom, what if the system comes back? I held her hand, this time tightly, as if handing over my whole life to her. Then we'll resist again, but this time, together. Epilogue, Henry's voice, final recording. If anyone is still listening to this voice, know that systems can change. But people only lose if they forget. Emma, leave our voice for our daughter. Let her future grow from our courage. Because systems silence, but stories live on. If you liked the story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.